How you come to get this opportunity to do this play?
So my journey with this show is interesting in that I music directed a production of it in Chicago the end of last year. And that was November through January of this year that I music directed this show. And I thought, man, how cool will it be to do the show again sometime in the future? Well, Daniel Bryant, who is the head of educational outreach here, reached out and said, hey, man, I'm in Baltimore now, and I would love to get you to center stage. No project in mind, but love to get you to center stage now that I'm working here. And 3 months later, I got a call, hey, we're doing the Christians in Baltimore, which I had just done in Chicago again, and here I am. I didn't know Kwame, I didn't know Hannah, but Daniel spoke highly of me enough for them to say, we want to get this guy. And I don't think they even knew the range of my skill set. They just went on Daniel's word. He's the guy. So they never heard me play or teach music. They just went on his word.
So what's your background in music?
I started in church. My grandfather pastored for 44 years, and all of my family had to do something in church. So you played the piano, you were an usher, you were a part of the maintenance, pick up stuff off the ground. You had to serve in some capacity, and music was what drew me in. And so I started playing at about 10. Seriously, I started playing 10. I think I was tinkling at 4 or 5. But 10 or 11, I started playing the piano. At 12, I was music directing the choir at church. I did that from 12 until I was 18. I went to a performing arts high school, so I took classical lessons for 4 or 5 years. Then I went off to undergrad at Florida State University, and I majored in music performance there. For 4 years in jazz studies. Wow. And then I went off to grad school in Chicago at Northwestern and did a graduate degree in music education and composition. That's how I started into theater. Moved to Chicago, no desire to work in theater. And a professor of mine had signed on to do a show that he could not do. And he said, hey man, I know you just moved here. Would you be interested in music directing a show I signed on to do that I can't do? And I said, of course I would. I had no experience, knew nothing. I knew nothing about theater, but I jumped in. That was October of 2007, and now 10 years later, I've worked in theater, at least doing 2 to 3 shows a year, every year since then.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
What is it like traveling all the time?
I enjoy it. At times I don't. I'll say I enjoy it for the purpose of meeting new people.
Right.
I've always seen my work in music, that's playing the piano, that's teaching, singing, as a way to connect with people. It's never been about the thing for me. Like, music has not been the all-in. It's just been the vehicle. So when I get to travel, what I most enjoy is connecting with people. But I miss my bed when I'm traveling. I miss my own place. I'm really a homebody at heart.
Right.
So those are the things that I miss when I'm away.
So after this show, what happens?
After the show, I have a small break, which I'm really, really grateful for, because I've been away from my place now for 5 months. And we'll end on October 8th. I plan to travel for a couple weeks, and then I jump back into my next show in Chicago.
So then, am I seeing here another Quincy Jones?
You know what's funny? Quincy Jones is my biggest idol. He is the highest measure of success for me in my mind. What he did with his career. And funny enough, right before I came here, I was music directing a show in Los Angeles that's headed to Broadway next year. And Quincy was there, but for another reason, in the same space, and everyone is saying, hey man, Quincy's upstairs. And as many celebrities as I'm around and have had the privilege to work with, he's one that I couldn't pull it together. And so I didn't even go introduce myself because I couldn't calm down, and we were literally 5 feet away from each other.
You needed a pill.
I needed a pill. I needed a pill to chill out. What Quincy has done with his career and what he has amassed in the heart of the man. I just love him. I love him from afar. He's been a distant mentor. He has really charted the path that I'm walking. You know.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, you also had a break here from Baltimore for a day or so,
Yeah.
because of events that you had home in Florida. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, you know, Florida's home. I was Miami, Florida, Central Florida is all home. My entire family is there, and I grew up with the reality that hurricanes could possibly happen every year. The biggest hurricane I think in my lifetime that we experienced was Hurricane Andrew in the mid-90s. It's always been a tumultuous time because we don't know what damages our home will sustain. Well, here we are in 2017 and Irma comes through, and I'm worried and concerned about my family because I'm so far away and my family depends on me for so many things. And Irma happened a couple weeks ago and I needed to go home to be a rock for my family. My mom passed away 2.5 months ago, and she was the glue and the rock for everyone.
Right.
And now that she's no longer here, my family looks to me. And so I had to take a day off from the show, which I'm really grateful that everyone here understood, so I can go there and help my stepfather.
Yeah, and you said the one who substituted for you was from the choir that you direct.
Yes, it was amazing that it worked out, because once I shared that I needed to go, there was a degree of nervousness from the director, from the choir, because the music director has a very important position with this show, holding it together. And it just so happened that the music director for the choir was in the choir, singing in the choir. So he had learned the show. He knew the ins and outs, the blocking, when to go up, when to sit the choir down, when to start the band. And he was willing to do the show. Yeah. Which is great, because now I know if I needed to go home in the case of an emergency, he's now played the show and he could step in for me.
The choir, how did you get this choir together? I understand it's right from here in Baltimore.
Yeah, it was Center Stage's vision this year to really engage the community, to bring the community inside. And one of those ways was to reach out to churches all around Baltimore, the DMV area, and see if they'd be interested, bringing their church choir and coming to sing for a week. I think they reached out to maybe 15 churches. Many said no, because the churches are busy this time of year. A lot of the members travel during the summer, then the fall programming starts up again. That's concerts, drama presentations. So schedule-wise, they couldn't do it. But Baltimore Church of God in Christ? No, Church of God, what is it? I'm trying to remember their official title. They signed on to do the first 2 weeks, which was amazing. Now, for this week and next week, it's featuring a community choir of auditioned folks from all over Baltimore and outside of Baltimore. So this week, next week, the choir is made up of all auditioned people.
So you've picked from different choirs?
Yes, from different. What we did was we put out an audition call in the DMV area, and for 2 consecutive Saturdays, folks came in to audition. We maybe saw 70 people, and we selected 30 out of the 70, and they're rocking this place.
So the blanket term, the Greater Baltimore Church of Christ, or whatever term you use for the choir in the program, is a mix or a collection of people from all over Baltimore.
Well, so for the first 2 weeks, Greater Baltimore Church of Christ was an actual church. Now, this 2 weeks, it says Baltimore Community Choir. Okay. And then the last week is New Psalmist, from which I understand is a mega church here in the, here in the city. They do the last week of performances, and each week or couple weeks, the choir's name is listed.
So you are going to really have an embracement from all the people who sing in Baltimore.
I'm telling you,
churches.
I think there's been a representation. We have folks here in the choir this week and next week who are driving in an hour and a half just to be a part of the show. Wow. So we're not talking about just local here in Baltimore. Annapolis, folks are driving in from I can't remember all the cities, but
Yeah.
I'm having a chance to work with people from all over.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
Yeah.
When I did this show in Chicago, it was a set group of audition people, so it was the same folk every week. Now, I'm making relationships. Probably when we're done with about 100 different people who've come through the choir.
So it's a real test of your skills, huh?
I think so. I think so. I think
As
so.
a director.
For sure, because each group, their skill set is different. Their strengths are different. Some of the choir members don't read music at all, so I had to be really efficient with the time to be able to teach them the music, make sure they felt confident. So I had to be on my job.
So I know that you get out after the show is over.
I do.
What kind of reaction do you get?
So interesting enough, I'm normally trying to find the quickest way to exit without having they grab me, and the response has been great. Folks really feel uplifted by the music, and even those who don't come from a religious background or have any type of emotional connection to the songs that are in the show find themselves tapping their leg, patting their foot, clapping, yelling out. We had folks yelling out last night. There's been some folks standing up doing that. So it's been really awesome to see how this music touches the audience, because in this script, these arrangements don't exist. All of the arrangements that I did for this show is specifically for center stage.
Okay.
When this show goes on to Philly or wherever else it goes, it won't be this music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a tribute to you.
You know, I would say so. I think that's why they called me and said, we want to get this guy here. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I wish you the best. I hope
Thank
to
you.
see you when you come back to Baltimore.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to coming back. We have plans next year to get me back here.
Looking forward to
Looking
it.
forward, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you. Thank
All
you so
right.
much.